Welcome back, guys. So I've got some notes on my phone here. You asked me for my top 10. This is my personal top 10 because we had a discussion. You guys only see a piece of the screenshot, but we had a discussion and I asked you, is this based on in-ring, based on what they were for the business? And you said, no, my personal opinion, my favorites for every generation, starting with Golden. I'm not going to do anything before the Golden Era because I didn't watch it much before that. Then New Generation, then Attitude Era, then Ruthless, then PG, then the current or reality or Triple H, whatever you want to call the current era. So again, this is my personal opinion. So please don't tell me how wrong I am. I would love it if you give me your opinions as well, your top 10s for each generation. Please do so. Give me your top 10s, but don't tell me mine is wrong because this is just my opinion. I'm not saying these are the best wrestlers. I'm just saying these are the guys I look forward to watching the most. So let's get straight into it and let's get started with Golden Era. We're going to start with number 10, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. So I look forward to watching every single match of his just because I'm not going to do an entry for each one, but let's just have some fun with it. He was just an absolute classic perfectionist wrestler. Number 9, Ted DiBiase. I just love this gimmick, the millionaire, making people in the crowd do things that they wouldn't necessarily do for money. Fun fact, RVD was one of them. Next, Jimmy Snuka. His splash from the cage at Madison Square Garden is just such a memory for me. Mr. Perfect, he was the first guy to really make selling look impressive. His turnbuckle spots, all of those things was just a step above the rest of the guys at that time. Number 6 is Macho Man Randy Savage. I just liked how absolutely deranged and crazy he seemed all of the time, and I think that's just pretty much him. Next, we've got Ric Flair with a tear in his eye, all of that. Ric Flair is just one of the greatest of all time. Next, we've got Roddy Piper. His segments, Piper Spit, him bashing people with coconuts, and just his shenanigans. He should have been multi-time world champion, but it wasn't to be. But yes, I love Piper. Next is Ravishing Rick Rude. The man every man was afraid of and every woman wanted to be, or what was the saying? Something along those lines. Apparently, he was like unbeatable in arm wrestling, and he was just a guy who he had everybody's back when they went out to bars. Now, this got nothing with him in ring, but I just love these spray painted tights. And yes, a feud he had with somebody that may be at number 2. And that number 2 is Jake the Snake Roberts. When he had Jake's wife's spray painted on his tights, it was just such a classic moment. Jake the Snake, his menacing promos made me fall in love with the promo side of wrestling. And number 1, this is no surprise, it's going to be Andre the Giant. Now, his career was starting to wind down by now, but he's such an attraction, such a great. Next, moving on to the new generation, and I'm throwing in a couple of curveballs here. Throwing in number 10, Doink the Clown. But I'm talking about the original Matt Osborne version of Doink, not the other guys that played Doink. It has to be Matt Osborne. The creepy, the scary Doink, not the fun-loving, goofy Doink. That I loved that character so much. Next, I'm going to throw in Alundra Blaze. If it wasn't for Alundra Blaze, would we have the likes of Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley? Would we have the likes of them today? I don't know. Number 8 is Owen Hart. Owen Hart, it's such a tragic story. He deserved so much more than what he got. And if you watch his match with British Bulldog in 1992, Owen Hart is just so incredibly good. Number 7 is his brother, Bret Hart. Probably the most famous rivalry in the new generation was Bret versus Shawn Michaels. And out of this rivalry, I didn't pick Bret. I picked Shawn. And that's why at number 6 is Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is just... He was the ultimate bad guy in the late 90s, but I absolutely loved every single second of it. Number 5, oh, by the way, one of your caveats was that I can use the same wrestler for more than one generation, because last time I couldn't. Number 5 is Roddy Piper. He's just so good. I love Roddy Piper. His promos, his in-ring quality, his backstage segments, everything just so good. Number 4, now this was 1996, 1997, because Attitude Era obviously started 1997-ish. So this was in 1996. And that was Mankind. I'm talking about the deranged entrance music and outro music when he won or lost a match, sitting in the ring, pulling out his own hair. That Mankind was so incredibly good. And then a guy that he may have had a lot to do with, Undertaker. Undertaker's just my 3. He deserves to be there, and there's just Nobody's going to tell me anything different, but Undertaker deserves to be there. Number 2, it's Yoko. It's got to be Yoko, right? Yokozuna at WrestleMania 9, he should have gone over. He should have been there. Actually, Yoko should have been a champion for a very, very long time. And number 1, it's the bad guy. It's Razor Ramon, Chica. He's just, oh man, I love Razor Ramon. Next, we're moving on to the Attitude Era. This was a tough one because Attitude Era is really, really tough for me to only pick 10 because there's so many guys that was just so great in the Attitude Era. But I'm going to start at 10 with Ken Shamrock. So Ken Shamrock is a name that you guys may have not thought of on here. But if you really think about it, Ken Shamrock was a couple of months short from Kurt Angle debuting. Ken Shamrock was a couple of years short from Brock Lesnar debuting. Can you imagine the matches Ken Shamrock against Angle, Ken Shamrock against Brock Lesnar? Would have just been so good. Number 9 is Trish Stratus. Again, what would the women's wrestling division at the moment be without the likes of her? I don't know. Number 8, it's gotta be Kane. I went for Kane, and judge me all you want, but I love Kane. Number 7 is HBK. He made it on 2 of these, and I think he absolutely deserves to make it on 2 of these. Number 6, another female wrestler, and it's going to be Lita. So when I was a teenager, there was the whole debate, Lita or Trish. I was a Lita guy, just because I was Team Extreme. I wore the baggy cargo pants, all those kinds of things. I was a Lita guy all the way. Number 5, he made it on again. It's The Undertaker. His feuds with Mankind, oh man, the Hell in a Cell match, just everything he did was... By the way, he fought that Hell in a Cell match with a broken ankle, and he honestly thought that was going to be his last match ever. Number 4 is The Rock. Now, The Rock should probably be higher, but there's 3 that I prefer, and this is my three of my goats of all time. Number 3 is Jeff Hardy. Now, I couldn't do a tag team, otherwise I would obviously have put the Hardy Boys in here, but whenever the Hardy Boys music hit, I would pop. And it was more for Jeff than it was for Matt. I'm just being honest. Number 2 is Mankind. Again, he made it on 2 of these, but he absolutely deserves to be on 2 of these. And number 1, as if there's any prizes for guessing, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, moving on to the Ruthless Aggression Era. I'm going to throw a couple of names in here that you guys may not have thought of. And number 10 is Christian. I think he deserves a lot of props for what he did in the Ruthless Aggression Era. His whole... Christian, that was such a good theme song, and he had a really good run. Number 9 is JBL. Hate him all you want. He's important to the Ruthless Aggression Era. Number 8, I'm throwing her in again. It's Lita again. Number 7, he coined the phrase Ruthless Aggression, and that's going to be John Cena. Number 6, he's higher than his tag team partner, and that's going to be Edge. Now we're getting into some serious Ruthless Aggression guys. Number 5, it's going to be Eddie Guerrero. Number 4, it's going to be Kurt Angle. That's just a couple of guys of the SmackDown 6 that absolutely dominated SmackDown. Of course, Angle, Eddie, Ray, Chavo, and a couple of other guys, Edge, and yeah. Then Brock Lesnar making his debut in 2002 and just destroying absolutely everybody around. And then he stuck around in my top 3. Jeff Hardy, he's just going to be in my top 3 for the Ruthless Aggression Era. And my number 1 for the Ruthless Aggression Era, it's going to be Randy Orton. That was when he broke free, when he did his solo thing, when he tried to be face, but everybody just realized he's just a bad guy. Next, PG Era. And we're starting off with AJ Lee. She was light years ahead of anyone else in the women's division. Then 9, it's going to be Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch and her win at Mania 35, that was still, I believe, PG Era. Such an important match, main event at Mania. Number 8 is Bray Wyatt. I think he's one of the most important figures in the WWE PG Era. Number 7, it's going to be John Cena, and I mainly put him in here because he had a couple of good runs with the US title, and he had a couple of good feuds with CM Punk, AJ Styles, all of those really good. And with my number 6 guy, with Edge, their feud becoming very personal, John Cena's dad getting involved, all of that. Number 5, it's going to be Rey Mysterio, super important guy to the PG Era. Number 4, it's going to be Daniel Bryan. I mean, the Yes Movement. How important is the Yes Movement to the PG Era? How important is guys like him and another guy at number 3, such indie guys becoming world champions? It's very important. And my number 3, it's going to be CM Punk. Now, my top two may be exactly the same because my number two is still Jeff Hardy. He had his feud with CM Punk, and that was absolutely incredible. And not just that, it's Jeff Hardy. He's in my top three of all time. And my number one, it's going to be Randy Orton. PG era Randy Orton he's incredible. He's incredibly dependable. Now, moving on to the current. So the current one, I believe it's disputable, but it's from about 2021 to currently. I'm going to throw a couple of curveballs in there, but it might be some recency bias, but this is just my opinion. Number 10 is Liv Morgan. Now, people are not very high on Liv Morgan. I am. I think Liv Morgan is fantastic. Number 9 is Damian Priest. I think the Judgment Day is going to be the reason why he's he's already a world champion, but you guys get the idea why he's the secondary world champion, if we can call it that. But Damian Priest is a future absolute rock star main eventer. Number 8 is the female wrestler of the future, and that's Rhea Ripley. Simple as that. Rhea and Liv is going to dominate for a very long time. Number 7, I'm throwing in Bron Breakker. He's not maybe there yet, but he's going to be incredibly important to the wrestling industry. Number 6 is Seth Rollins, because Seth is fantastic. You can't argue Seth is great. Number 5, AJ Styles at his advanced age. Now, is he retired? Is he not? I honestly don't know. I'm filming this literally just the week after Clash of the Castle. So he had his match with Cody. So I don't know if he's retired. I don't think so. But yes, so this is coming out way after that. But I'm just letting you guys know how far behind I am with filming. Then, or not far behind, how many requests I have. That's a better way to state it. Number 4 is Sami Zayn. I think personally still, hate me all you want, but Sami Zayn should have been the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. Number 3, Orton. He's still incredibly important to the industry. Number 2, I'm going to just say it. It's Gunther. Future absolute stud of a main event world champion. And number 1, again, this is my personal opinion. You can't tell me I'm wrong because it's personal opinion. That's how opinions work, people. My number 1 is going to be Kevin Owens. I still think if it wasn't Sammy, it should have been Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble to dethrone the Tribal Chief. But anyway, that's my top 10 for each generation. What do you guys think? Please do let me know your top 10 for each generation, and we can compare what do we have the same, what don't we have the same. Until next time, hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.